right, I'm here with Mr. Andy Kirkpatrick. Did I pronounce that correctly, Andy?
Yes.
All right. Andy, you and I got a funny story. This is, of course, Mark Rest for the Newbie to Expert Status Seminar. We have a funny story on how we met, and it's very interesting because even though we met, it was an interesting way the way we met. Had I not taken the initiative because I felt for you, there was some kind of connection in the series in the sense that I said, you know what, I want to see if I can help this guy. He doesn't have to listen to me or do anything I say, but I want to see maybe, because I felt that there was a situation there where maybe you needed some extra finances, and we kind of have built a relationship since then. But do you want to share the story on how we met?
Yeah, we actually met, and we're exchanging Nintendo Wii's. Because that was my market, and any of you that end up watching the videos for this seminar this weekend are going to find out that's very fact. But we met in a parking lot, and we traded Wii's. There were actually 3 cops there. We talked for about 5 or 10 minutes. Mark was already giving me great information about the eBay market, totally separate from what I learned this weekend. And then, we made the exchange. I actually talked to the cops about it for 5 or 10 minutes. And it was quite, that right there is quite a story. I decided, I'm going to get a chocolate shake before I head home. And Mark was still there, and that's when he came up to me, and he just told me a little bit more about what he does and what kind of things, he thinks I should move towards to do better with my time.
I actually asked you to do something that day. I asked you to research my name online. Did you actually go home and do that?
Yeah, I went home, and I watched the video of Mark counting cash. And it was late the time I got home, so I didn't, watch all the videos, all these testimonials. But in the time between then and now, I've seen all of Mark's videos online, 19 minutes, of his history, etc. And it's all great.
And so, you've been actually through a couple things with me. We've done a couple different trainings. You've done a webinar training. You've done a live event training. And we've each, I've actually called you at tell the story about that email at early wee hours of the morning.
Well, I did do some of the VRE training with Mark, and I was unable to make a couple of 1.5 of the seminars, and I felt like I was getting behind, and I was letting myself down, and felt Mark was angry on one of the calls, and I didn't know if that was my time that I was putting in. So I wrote him an email. It was at 2:30 or 3 in the morning, and 5 minutes later I get a phone call, and so Mark and I had a conversation about what's going on in my life,
and so it was more of like, hey, Andy, let's get to the bottom of this, because I wasn't mad at you. I was just frustrated with another member that just wasn't getting something and was just wasting my time. I wasn't upset at you. But I do get passionate about my members. I do care, and I do want to help people. Do you feel that we had a breakthrough that night?
I think, yeah.
Did I have to call you at all? I didn't have to call you. I could have waited till the next day, sent you an email.
It only further cemented the trust that I had with Mark, that started that night in the In-N-Out parking lot, actually.
In-N-Out Burger!
Yeah, exactly. And, I wouldn't be here if we hadn't met face-to-face in that parking lot. So, anything I communicate to you watching this video at home, he's telling the truth. This is who he is. He cares. He wants to deliver a good product, and he wants me to succeed.
Now, there was another situation one time when I called you on the phone, and I think this was the very first time when you were considering investing in something. And it wasn't like thousands of dollars. You were buying into something that I think was maybe a couple $100. And your question, I think, or something you brought up to me, you said, well, how do I know that you're just not a good salesman? Or what was it that you said?
I was telling from the emails, the sales copy, from talking to him on the telephone, I feel you, Mark, you're either a really good salesman or you're telling the truth. And what I've come to find out is I don't think you're a good salesman. I think you're telling the truth.
I don't know if that's a good thing or not,
but in reality, of course he's a good salesman. I mean, look at what he does. I mean, he does sales, and he does incredible, as mentioned in other video testimonials.
But again, you've done a webinar training, which means you sat at home, watched me on your computer, watched the steps, and learned that way, and now you've come to a live event. Would you recommend any or all of the resources when it comes to my training to people? I mean, whether it's $1,000, whether it's $10,000, I mean, now that you've been there and you've been through what's the word I'm looking for, you've been in the trenches with me, what do you think now? How do you feel?
I can't believe there weren't more people at this seminar. I think, people really missed out, here at the Newbie to Expert seminar, by not being here, by not making the effort to come here. And anything that you do, certainly, it's something I should consider. The only thing holding you back would be me. It wouldn't be my insecurities with what Mark might be doing.
But I'm ready to give you a swift kick in the butt, huh? I'm ready to pull your ear to make you do things, right?
Always.
I keep pushing and pushing and pushing because I know once you have that breakthrough, it's going to snowball. It's a snowball effect. Once it starts happening, you won't be able to stop the money flow.
That's what I'm looking forward to.
All right, brother. So, again, this is Andy Kirkpatrick, and, Andy, you came all the way from?
I was just San Diego.
So, nice little drive from San Diego, and, I think you're walking away with a wealth of knowledge. This is my personal opinion, but, hopefully you're going to put it to work. And is there any last words that you want to let people know about Mark Ress, and whether it's my Newbie the Expert Status Seminar or webinar training or anything else that we're doing, is there anything that you want to leave people with? Because this is like the parting words from Andy Kirkpatrick about Mark Ress.
I think the only thing that's stuck in my mind in this last 10 seconds is I think I'm spoiled to be here. The time that you've spent with all of us this weekend is invaluable. We're so fortunate to have found our way to the Newbie the Expert Seminar under the circumstances we all came here. And, I'm just looking forward to really practicing what you taught me this weekend and rolling that into bigger and better things.
Dude, you're awesome, man. I really appreciate you taking the time to be here, brother, and I'm going to keep calling you and keep yelling at you at 2 in the morning. No, I'm just kidding. All right, brother, you have a good one. This has been Mark Ress and Andy Kirkpatrick, the eBay we get. No, I'm just kidding. Keep putting his market out there. He's like, shut up, stop telling people. So, again, March 29th and 30th, that's when we have this event. Today's the 31st. We are here in the Q&A session, wrapping this up. And, again, I thank you guys all for coming. I appreciate you and your time, and I'll be here for you, rooting for you guys, making sure that you guys are successful. God bless you. Andy Kirkpatrick, Mark Ress, out.
All right. Thank you, Mark.